Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 158 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition and a bit of a change of scenery today. I'm in the house and I'm on the floor. So that's your hint. If you want to see what I'm going to do, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, as the introduction suggested, I'm in our house and a problem has arisen with our vinyl plank flooring that I actually installed in the hallway, but I've installed it a little bit differently than I did in this part here. I'm actually sitting or kneeling in our old house. Okay, this the outside wall of the original house came here, and the camera is sitting in the new part. So we installed this vinyl plank, and I followed instructions very well, but we're having a problem, and I'll bring you in closer to see this. We're having a problem with a few of the joints that have unlocked and tilted up. I like the thickness of this flooring. It's nice and thin, which I like, but I think, in retrospect, the way it links together, especially on the ends, is a bit problematic. And let's see, I brought two pieces in here. I want to just see if I can show you this. I just have to get the pieces oriented the right way. There, that's the one side. Okay, and that's the side that... Okay, I'm going to try to show you this closely here. Okay, so this is the piece, let's say that's down, and this piece, you can see that, this piece locks into it like that. And there's not much, I hope you can see that, there's not much locking there. When I laid this flooring in the hallway, I talked to a flooring contractor, and they suggested using super glue in this area here. Now I did that. Here, I'll get back into focus here. I did that in the hallway, and you can see the strip down here to tie both areas together. I'm a lot more confident in that, and then had I known that when I put this in, I would have done the same thing. But I need to pull these cracks together, and I need to bond them so they don't come apart again. Now, one possible reason why they're separating here in the main traffic area, they're not separating in the new part. That's all been good. But this is the transition. This goes from old to new. And when I prepared the floor in this area, because we had the first exterior door that we installed in this end, remember this was outside, was a terrible door and let in a lot of moisture, and that moisture got into the subfloor and the K3 board subfloor, and then into the plywood beneath that. And I tried, it just swelled and it made a hump. So everything else when I tied in this building worked perfectly, except the floor didn't line up perfectly here because of that moisture hump. So I took some extreme methods and got a lot of it down, but I couldn't get it all out. So there's a little bit of a crown right about here that may have been affecting this flooring. It could potentially, and I don't know if this is fact or not, but if it would have tipped it like that, just I'm exaggerating, that would make it so that this could come apart easier. And I guess I should have caught this right away. I wasn't sure how bad the problem was. But anyway, I need to deal with it. I've been playing, there are two other joints, and they're at that side, which is going to be under an entrance table at some point. We've got a couple of makeshift pieces here now just to do what we needed to do. But I fixed two of them, and I'm not really happy with both of them. So, but now I have no choice. I have to go where everybody will see my repairs. And I've come up, well, I've watched a bit of video, did a little bit of thinking on my own, and hopefully I've come up with a little better way of doing it. So the rest of this video, I'm going to try to fix one of these one of these butt joints that's come apart. And I will get you in closer to see that when I start working on it. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, and there's the culprit. I'll give you a good close-up view. So this separates, and the one thing I may not be able to show you, let's see if I can come around. Yeah, you see this shadow line here where my finger is? That tongue is actually flipped up. So it's weakened here. And I'm not sure how today's fix is going to go. I've tried a couple things, not happy with either, watched a couple things. They seem incomplete and not really for this flooring. So we're going to give this a try. So what I'm going to do now is now that I've shown you what we're going to do, there you can see that really well, I'm going to put you back on the tripod and I'm going to try to repair this. So that's what's happening next. Okay, well, I hope you can kind of see what I've got going on here, but this is the crack I want to fix, and the most important thing right away is just to make sure that there is no dirt in here, because if you have dirt in there, it won't allow you to push it together. Obviously, that makes sense. And my knife going through there, I'm not pushing down hard. I don't want to cut the tongue off, but I can feel where there are little obstructions. Okay, let's give this a try. Hopefully that'll do it. It looks pretty good. Okay, now I have to decide which way I'm going to try to pull this together. Whether I'm going to knock these tiles this way or these tiles this way. Now, in the videos that I watched, these tiles disconnected, but that wasn't like if I tighten this joint, it opened this one. That hasn't been my experience with this flooring. When I worked on those on the side, they all move together, so it's a lot. But I took a piece of 2x4 and I planed or jointed this side so it's perfectly flat. And I'm going to make myself a bit of a way to, I'm going to double side tape this to the floor, and then I'm going to take a hammer and I'm going to try to tap it. Now I'm going to try this way first, but since this is uncharted territory, I'm not sure what is going to work better. And if anybody out there in YouTube land has done this type of flooring before, please leave your information or what you did in the comments section, because I would love to hear from you, because I think with this flooring, this could be an ongoing problem that I'll have to learn to live with. Okay, well, we're going to I always have trouble getting the backing paper off, and we'll just throw that away so we can trip over it later. That's the way it works. Okay, that came off quite easily. Okay, Now I'm going to stick this on really well. And I'm using this hammer. I was thinking as I went to the shop in one of my many trips that maybe this isn't the best hammer for this, but I'm going to try. That seems to be, holy mackerel, I am surprised. That has moved it. And nothing else came apart. Nope, should have gone and bought the lottery ticket today. I wish I could claim that was skill. But I think that's moved together. Now, I don't want to lift this up to put that gel super glue that we were using underneath. So I think what I'm going to do is I have some of my thin super glue that I think I can get into that crack. But before I do that, this was a total surprise. I thought I'd end up working back and forth trying to figure this out and wouldn't get so blatantly lucky on the very first attempt. So I'm going to put some tape down here, because the bad thing about super glue is if you get it on the other flooring, it's a bit of a mess. I wonder if I can get this guy off of here. Oh, look at that. That worked. Usually when I start shooting video, everything goes wrong. Like I say, should go out and buy that lottery ticket today. But we're not done yet. Shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. I'm going to try to make just a narrow pathway to keep that super glue really well confined. Okay. So now, you know what? I should be on the other side so you can see this. And the back side of my head, there we go. And I find these extended tips for the super glue are really, really helpful. They let you put it in exactly where you want it. I don't have a lot of confidence in this super glue bond. In my opinion, super glue works really well when the parts are really stable. So putting inlay in a guitar or whatever, that works really well. But this could flex a little bit or expand and contract a little bit, and I'm convinced that that is not the answer. But we're going to try it. Like I suspect, I'm going to end up fixing more of these. I don't think I'm done with this yet. So this is the first. This is fixing the floor version 1. Okay, so I'm going to let that soak in a little bit. We'll let it wick into where it's going to go. And I think what I'm going to do is I usually use wax paper, but I think I'm going to just put another layer of tape over that. I just want to see, it's going to start at one end and see what happens. Well, that's not doing it. Okay. I need something with an edge. Oh, I had a block here too. I've got to sneak. There. And while I was gone, I went and got all of them. This is just a piece of flooring. I want to see how that works. I'm going to set it right along the edge. Yep, that's doing it. Line that edge up perfectly. Okay. That, I don't like that sound when I'm hitting this and it's a little loose. It almost sounds like it's cracking. And who knows, I could be. Hopefully not. Okay, I'm just going to pull the tape back a little bit, see what we're doing. Well, not much yet. Not there anyway. I like to leave the tape on, but maybe I need to take it off now. We're going to give that a try. Super glue is not too bad. I think that worked really well to make sure the glue didn't go where you didn't want it to. And here's a nice solid block of birch. Line that up on the line. Well, this is how you put it in when you're installing it, so but it's not going in like I would like it to. Maybe this block, a smaller block. Oh, that's just not doing it. I really hate hitting things like that when I'm not sure, but it seems to go in when I do that. That's hard on the nerves. It looks way better, but it isn't fixed yet. There's still a ridge there. And I wonder if that super glue maybe is solidified already and keeping it in place. But we'll just keep going. This side's not too bad. I'm going to try something a little more radical. When all else fails, get a different hammer. Well, that's a little better. See, this one absorbs some of the blow. This one's transferring all the energy. So, but is it scary? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's doing it. But that cracked the tongue there just a wee bit. But it's smoother now. Yeah, I think maybe on the next one, I'll hammer it in place and then super glue it. Because I think maybe my super glue is part of the problem now. That's gutsy, eh? Well, I'm just going to keep gently tapping it. It seems to be helping. Okay, well, this isn't, here, let me get into view here. This isn't perfect, but I think so far of the ones I've done, it's the best one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to this one, and I'm going to draw it together and then pound it in and then super glue it. Now this one, the one good thing about this flooring is it's kind of the same color all the way through. So I've got a little bit of a lip here yet, but I'm really, really tempted to go out to the shop and bring in one of my wee little guitar planes and just cut a little bit of that edge off. I did the one against the wall with a chisel yesterday, and it actually took the sharpness off, which really helped. So this looks way better, and it is way better, but it's still not closed like I'd like it to be. This isn't perfect, but it's a step up from there. So I'm going to keep tapping a little bit, but I'm going to bring you back when I do this one. Okay? Well, maybe it's a good thing I had more than one joint to repair because I'm slowly learning. The thing I missed with the joint I did for you earlier was I had my heat gun here. I just got so carried away with taping everything, and I was so surprised that that floor shifted that easily because I had trouble with that yesterday when I was playing with this. But I forgot to use a heat gun, and the heat gun is a large part of the answer to this. Just be sure that you don't set it down on the floor because it'll probably melt it. The other thing that's critical is a long tapping block. Yesterday when I was playing with this, I just used a short block. In fact, I used my piece of turning birch here. Not enough surface contact. This piece, I can actually lift the joints of the floor apart with it. So it's tough, and it adjusts. So this whole row here, okay, just on this side of the 2x4 there, this had 2 open joints in it. And I went off camera and tapped it all together because you've seen me do that, and that didn't change. The tapping worked really good. And I have all the seams now. This one here I'm going to leave. That's good. But I changed the sequence. So what I'm going to do with this one now, I'm going to put this one together for you. I'm going to heat it. I'm going to tap it back in. And then I'm going to super glue it, because I don't want to take the chance of that super glue drying before I get everything where it should be, and it could potentially hold things apart. I don't know how well it soaks into the vinyl, but I don't want to take that chance. So when you're using the heat gun, be very careful. They say a hairdryer will do this. I don't believe that. You need a little bit more heat. It needs to be almost uncomfortable to the touch. So let's see what we can do. Just spread the heat along and keep checking. Yep, that's done. Okay, and then to find a safe place to put it so you don't set it on the floor and burn things. Where did my little piece of flooring go? It still leaves a little bit of an edge. Oh, that's better. Well, I think that's about as good as I can do. This pipette on the end of the super glue really, really helps. So I'm just going to get into a comfortable position because you can see I'm not using any masking tape because I don't think it's going to help here. I hope you can see this. I'm not convinced that this is the right glue for this. But like I said, this is going to be a learning process. And maybe when we get the main part of the kitchen floor done, I might, if I have enough leftover flooring, might have to come back and redo some of this. Because this is a major traffic area in this house. This needs to be good. So we're going to let it soak in a little bit. Now, I don't know if I need to bother showing you a whole joint where this is all put together, but basically the sequence I would use is, and I've done them all here, not just on one joint, but make a good tapping block, good double side tape, stick it on. Sometimes I kneeled on it and then tapped it, and I used my framing hammer. I think that there's more transfer of shock with this, so I like that. And then once you have it tight, then take a heat gun and heat the whole length of the joint. And once you've got it, I could easily touch it, yet it wasn't that hot that it wasn't like that. It was nice and warm though. It was hot, but not overly hot, because you don't want to melt the flooring, because that you could easily do. And then I tapped it in and did the best I could. And then I put some thin super glue in it. Yeah, that's what I'll go with for now. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, that's the best fix that I can do. But I'm convinced I'm not finished with this yet. So basically, the rows that go from the old to the new, that's where all the problems are occurring. So I might, like I said, when the kitchen's all done, we've used up all the other flooring, if we have a little bit left, I might start at the stairwell here and take this apart and replace the bad pieces. I think that could work. So anyway, I think now this is soaked in for a while. Where's my paper towel? There it is. And I'm just going to wipe that off. Oh, the woodworker in me comes out. Just one little swipe with a hand plane would make it perfect. There's a wee little bit of an edge there yet. I didn't get it perfect. but it's much better than it was before. And now I don't think there's the danger of when we walk on it, hooking your shoe sole on it and tearing it off. But I suspect the more I look at this, I'll have to come back in here and replace these eventually. But we'll see how it works, and we'll go from there. So I think with that in mind, let's wrap this show up. Well, am I 100% happy with what I've accomplished so far? No. But there's a bit of a learning curve here. I find that each joint that I do, I learn something. Now, I'm going to finish this off. I think the alternative is not repairing it and having somebody's shoe sole hook it and break a piece off. And that means I have to kind of surgically implant a new tile, which I think I could do, but it's a lot of work, and I don't want to do it if I don't have to. So with that in mind, that about brings this to a close. I've got a few more joints that I'm going to finish up here yet, try to get this done today. But I think the combination of that long tapping block and the heat made probably the biggest difference. So if you're looking at doing something like this, and it all depends too on what type of flooring you have. Now, there is a special name for this type of flooring that last spring when I was installing it in the other part, there was a specific name that my our flooring contractor used for it. I can't remember what that is, but if you have vinyl plank flooring like that, that's thin and has that little joint, this is the way I repaired it. But I have a feeling I'll learn a few more tricks yet, and when I do, I'll maybe shoot another little video. So anyway, that brings the weekend edition to a close. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about this, and let's get on to that 1,000 subscribers. So anyway, with that in mind, I have a few ideas for the weekly edition next week, but nothing finalized yet. So, but we'll see you when we'll see you, and that'll be probably middle of next week. So take care, have an awesome weekend, and thanks for watching.